In the labyrinth of our minds often resides a place where the macabre meets the magical, a place where the ordinary and extraordinary collide in a tantalizing dance. One such cinematic marvel that accomplishes this is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. The story, at its core, isn't just about Halloween creatures taking over Christmas, but about identity, ambition, and the perils of venturing into the unknown. The film opens in Halloween Town, a place of perpetual twilight where every day feels like October 31st. Our protagonist, Jack Skellington, is a skeletal figure draped in a pinstriped suit, an emblem of Halloween. He's revered, celebrated, the king of his domain. And yet as night cloaks the town, we see Jack isolated, desolate, an emblem too of existential melancholy. Here we're immediately met with a profound question. Can success and adoration truly satiate the yearnings of the soul? As Jack stumbles upon Christmas Town, his bones light up, quite literally, with wonder. This world, bathed in a hue of warmth and joy, is a stark contrast to the grays of Halloween Town. The twinkling lights, the laughter, the sheer magic. It's alien, yet enchanting. Here's where Burton subtly emphasizes the human tendency to yearn for the unknown, to be drawn to the unfamiliar. After all, isn't it often that we, nestled in our routines, dream of distant lands and experiences? But Jack's admiration turns to ambition. He decides to bring Christmas to Halloween Town. His rationale? If he adores Christmas so much, then surely his fellow townsfolk would too. A thought-provoking parallel can be drawn here. How often do we, in our zeal, impose our newfound revelations on others, believing it's for their betterment? The scenes that follow are both comical and tragic. Halloween's interpretation of Christmas is endearingly off-mark. The residents, though well-intentioned, warp Christmas icons into eerie versions. They make toys that terrify, and their version of Santa, Sandy Claus, is more nightmarish than jolly. At this juncture, one might ponder, is Burton suggesting that there are realms and experiences some of us are simply not equipped to understand, let alone replicate? Or is he touching upon the darker side of assimilation, where, in trying to fit into a new culture or space, we sometimes grotesquely misinterpret it? The passion Jack exudes, his dedication, is palpable. Yet it's heart-wrenching to watch his vision crumble. When the real world experiences Halloween's Christmas, it's met with fear, not joy. Jack's dreams, built with such fervor, shatter. It's a moment that resonates deeply, echoing the vulnerabilities of our own endeavors. Who hasn't felt the sting of unmet expectations, or the pain of misunderstood intentions? In the haunting tapestry of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Sally emerges not merely as a rag doll, but as a poignant metaphor for the perennial human experience of entrapment and longing. With stitches marking her canvas, she's a patchwork of pains, experiences, and resilience. Each thread symbolizes a trial overcome, a lesson learned, a moment of rebirth. The very act of tearing and stitching, a perpetual cycle in her existence, mirrors our own patterns of breaking and healing. While Sally's heart, woven with silent affection for Jack, pulses with anticipation and dread, her keen foresight is dismissed. Isn't this the very essence of our human predicament? A battle between intuition, often whispered by the heart, and the blinding dazzle of ambition or passion.
Going to be a disaster!
How could it be? Just follow the pattern. This part's red. The trim is white.
It's a mistake, Jack.
The recurrent premonitions, shadows of looming chaos, are indicative of the inner voices we routinely suppress, only to later traverse the thorny path of regret. Through Sally, Burton paints a portrait of vulnerability, wisdom, and the perennial conflict between the heart's murmurings and the world's loud proclamations. How often, amid life's tumult, do we overlook the soft, prescient lullabies of our souls, only to lament in hindsight? The enigmatic Oogie Boogie of The Nightmare Before Christmas serves as a visceral embodiment of existential dread, our innermost fears, and the lurking shadows of malevolence in the world. Draped in burlap and filled with bugs, he is a potent metaphor for the disintegration of meaning and the festering void of nihilism. Every insect crawling within him stands as a reminder of the chaotic, unpredictable, and often cruel nature of existence. when he sings,
I am the shadow on the moon at night, filling your dreams to the brim with fright.
it echoes the gnawing uncertainties and terrors that sometimes plague our subconscious, manifesting in the darkest hours of introspection. Furthermore, his lair, a gruesome casino, holds significance. The imagery of the spinning wheel and dice implies life's capriciousness and the gamble of existence. Every throw, every turn, every decision can cascade into unforeseen consequences, reminding us of the inherent uncertainties we navigate. When he attempts to harm Santa Claus and Sally, it is a stark representation of how unchecked malevolence, born out of nihilistic despair, can seek to diminish sources of hope and intuition in our lives. Oogie Boogie's eventual unraveling, quite literally, speaks to a deeper philosophical narrative. The idea that evil, when confronted with determination and unity, can be dissected, understood, and ultimately vanquished. His disintegration into mere bugs suggests that the monolithic fears and evils we perceive are often conglomerates of smaller, manageable anxieties and corruptions. Through Oogie Boogie, Burton illustrates that confronting our existential apprehensions requires both courage and a dissecting lens to understand the granular facets of the broader shadows we fear. The mayor of Halloween Town, with his ever-revolving two-faced head, is a poignant symbol of the duality that exists within us all, and perhaps more broadly, the dichotomy of life itself. On one side, he's cheerful, brimming with enthusiasm, and on the other, fraught with distress. This character design isn't merely whimsical, it's a profound nod to the spectrum of emotions we all oscillate between. When the mayor exclaims,
Jack, please, I'm only an elected official here. I can't make decisions by myself. Jack!
it subtly underscores a universal human insecurity, our reliance on external validation and the fear of sole accountability. Furthermore, his ever-changing face can be interpreted as an embodiment of existential duality. The constant rotation between joy and despair parallels the philosophical quandary. Is life inherently meaningful, joyous, and purposeful, or is it intrinsically bleak, absurd, and devoid of inherent value? The mayor's struggle to maintain a consistent face throughout the film highlights the human struggle to reconcile these opposing viewpoints. Moreover, his dual countenance reflects the masks many don in society, the public face brimming with feigned positivity and the private one, which might be fraught with vulnerabilities. This can be perceived when he enthusiastically begins preparations for the next Halloween on the very next day, masking any disappointment or exhaustion from the previous night's events. Through the mayor, Burton seems to question, how often do we, in our lives, rotate our faces to fit a narrative or to appease the expectations of society? The mayor's constant need for Jack's guidance and approval also hints at a more profound existential fear, the fear of insignificance. In the grand, chaotic tapestry of existence, individuals often grapple with their purpose and worth. The mayor's dependence on Jack mirrors this human yearning for purpose and a sense of belonging in the vast, indifferent cosmos. Dr. Finklestein, the mad scientist of Halloween Town, is a manifestation of humankind's insatiable quest for knowledge and mastery over the elements. With his wheeled contraption replacing legs and his ability to open up his own skull to scratch his brain, he is both a testament to human innovation and a cautionary figure of its potential excesses. He creates Sally, a sentient being, only to keep her imprisoned, drawing parallels with the human tendency to play God without considering the ethical implications. His relationship with technology and creation touches on the existential fear of the very things we create to aid us turning against us or spiraling out of control. As Sally continuously tries to escape and often drugs the doctor to do so, it raises the question, in our bid to advance, are we unknowingly sowing the seeds of our own entrapment and suffering? Moreover, the doctor's desire to replace his own brain, as seen when he contemplates switching it with a more evolved one, embodies the human struggle with self-worth and the desire for eternal improvement. In a world where technology continuously evolves, the existential dread arises. Will there come a time when the human mind becomes obsolete? Further, his detached and often cold demeanor, especially towards Sally's feelings and desires, mirrors the broader societal concern about the potential dehumanizing effects of over-reliance on technology. By bringing life to Sally and then seeking to control and confine her, Finklestein inadvertently underscores a profound existential question. Just because we have the power to create and manipulate life, does it mean we should? Especially if it results in suffering for the created. Through Dr. Finklestein, Burton cleverly critiques humanity's flirtation with technology and innovation without foresight, reminding viewers of the ethical responsibilities that come with creation and progress. The climax is intense, filled with action and drama. Yet, amidst this, there's a silent epiphany Jack undergoes. He realizes his identity doesn't lie in being Santa, but in being the Pumpkin King, the best version of himself. It's a revelation so many of us seek. Who are we really? Are we the masks we wear, the roles we play, or is there an innate essence, an us that exists, irrespective of external validations? The film winds down with Halloween Town returning to its roots, and Christmas restored to its former glory. Jack and Sally's union on the Curly Hill, silhouetted against the moon, is a moment of serene beauty. It speaks of acceptance, of love, of finding one's place in the vast canvas of existence. The Nightmare Before Christmas, though cloaked in fantasy, unravels deep philosophical musings. It nudges us to reflect upon our identities, our ambitions, the nature of cultural understanding, and the timeless dance between love and destiny. As we exit this narrative, are we, like Jack, looking for meaning in the extraordinary, while the answers might just lie in embracing our authentic selves? If this narrative resonated with you, do support us. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe. Thank you for staying with us to the end. See you in the next video on Plaid Chronicles.